God, I thank you for this wonderful moment that you've given us this afternoon to just come here and to talk about the continent we love and countries, and our people and our generation, our kids, and everything that we have. God, I pray that you will come and you'll be in this conversation from the very beginning till the end. Because at the end of the day, God, we want peace, stability, and unity to our beautiful continent and our countries. We give all this praise and honor and glory in your precious name, Christ, we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, let me welcome my brother right here, all the way from Gabon, even though he's not in Gabon right now, but let me take a moment to welcome my brother Isaac to the family. Isaac, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing great, bro. What about you?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I thank God. It's such a privilege to be here and to have this conversation with you. How is South Korea?
Yeah, South Korea is quite hot this day because we are in summer season. So this day we are using aircon, a little bit maybe like you in Tanzania. Yeah, but I guess I think South Korea is hotter than Tanzania because we are reaching temperature like 35 degrees. Yeah, but it's quite good. We are managing all these things. Yeah, it's okay.
Absolutely. That's actually one of the things that people do not know. That they always say that Africa is too hot, but you guys cannot imagine that in South Korea, the summer in South Korea is quite hotter
Yeah,
than
it's
in
crazy.
Africa.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
too much. Yeah,
yeah.
it's too much. So, anyways, I met. When did we meet for the first time? It was a couple years back. Is it 5 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, I think it
Maybe
was
more than that.
4 years ago. We met at Yoido Church, Yoido English Ministry.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you were
yeah.
already in the one of the leader of the worship team there. So and
Oh
then
yeah.
I joined the worship team of Grace. You remember Nuna Grace? Yeah, I joined
Exactly. I
her.
remember you guitar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's where we
it's
meet
a
up.
great.
Yeah, and we had a couple of fellowship together. Yeah,
Yeah. And this is actually the first time to have a conversation since then because we never really had any conversation.
yeah, yeah,
So
that's
I'm
right.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm very excited for this, man. I'm very excited for this. So brother, the reason why we're having this conversation right now, it's because of what is going on in your country. So
Mhm.
before I start asking you questions, um, if you can just summarize in 1 minute or 2 minutes what's really going on, and what is the feeling from Gabonese perspective, because you're here today because we want to understand and to know what is the feeling from you as Gabonese people with everything that has been happening, for over 50 years, and what is happening right now. What is the feeling and what is in the heart of Gabonese people?
Yeah, first I would like to say that uh, we were supposed to be a free nation, as you know, since the Independence Day in 1960. For us in Gabon, the anniversary is in 17 August. So we are supposed to be a free country since that time in 1960. But we always saw the French presence in our political, in our economy, and we were not really living as a free people. Like we have been dominated by one family, as you know, the Bongo family, who has been ruling the country for over 50 years. And Gabon is actually a really rich country, but the population was not really, how to say it, using the wealth of the country. So because of that
Yeah,
situation, people were really sad about it and really angry about that situation. And
yeah,
our people has, how to say it, was really thirsty about that freedom because we are just 2 million people and we're supposed to be a really rich country. But because of
mm,
one family ruling the country, there were many people still living under the line of poverty. So, and there were many presidential election and the same family was still winning. But, we know most of African country, they come to power by cheating. So it was like this for over 50 years. And then we came on that presidential election, and with that new hope, we had a coalition of all the opposite party of the party of the Bongo family. So we have that coalition of all the politicians from all the party of the country, and they oppose themselves to Bongo family. And we see all the people in my country like just coming with this thirst of freedom, and they were really willing to see our country becoming a free country. And we could see in every meetings organized by this political party that the population was behind them, and they were not with the Bongo family. And came to the day of election with many, how to say it, illegal things, like in some places we cannot see the ticket of the opposite party. So there were many things like this, but we still stay in hope. And then after a certain time, we got the result. They announced it during the night. It was the night in my country, around 3 a.m. in my country. And then after 30 minutes after announcing that the President Bongo again win the election, which was not the truth, after 30 minutes, just heard that there was a military coup. And then like we're all surprised. We were all surprised. My wife and I, we were really surprised about it. And we called our family back home, and they did not know, because it was during the midnight that they announced the result. And people yet did not know about that situation. And I called my sister, and they all got up and watched the TV. There was a military coup, and everybody was just happy, full of joy. Because the most important for people, it was to see those 50 years of, I will say, kind of slavery, like under power of just one family ruling the country, using all the wealth of the country, and people were just released and they were happy. I think you saw the images, people running outside and crying for freedom. So for today, I would say that people in Gabon, they are really happy, at least for that, at least for this situation that now we are no more hearing about the Bongo family. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how bad was it? Like for all those years, I know, maybe you have been, around for 30 or less than 30 years. But how bad was it? Life, especially in Gabon, like it's a very small country, and with a little number of people, 2 million, 2.3 million people, and it's very rich country with all these, natural resources that it has. So basically, Gabon is supposed to be one of the, best countries in Africa, right? If there were no corruption, if there were no stealing and all those stuff. How was it from the ground, from the people? You growing up, how was it?
For me, I would say that life was kind of okay, because I'm coming from a middle income family, but still I could say that many people in my country were living under the line of poverty. You can see in some places that some people could not eat properly. Like there are many poor people, which is not normal in such a rich country like Gabon. And the system was like, as everyone, we go to primary school and high school. And for me, I went to some private school, but I had some friend going some public school because they don't have enough money to go to private school and to get a good education. And those friends, you could have in some classroom, you could have maybe like 100 children in one classroom of primary school, which is really bad, and it's not a good situation for children to learn. So just to talk about the education part, And also, if we look at the infrastructure, they were always talking about like we need to build road, we need to make roads, but you can see if you come to my country that the road infrastructure are still really bad because they've been almost doing nothing from these 50 years. And for me, growing from my birth to up to like 2025, because I came to Korea when I was 25. I just saw a country like at same state. Like if you look at the infrastructure, things were not really moving. If you look at the education, the education system was really bad, and you could not see any improvement like for all those years. But for people like us who were going to private school, we had that chance to get some to get a good education. But for others, they were living under the line of poverty, and they were really suffering because of those situations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So obviously, and like, how can I say? So is it right to say that a lot of people have been, let's say all Gabonese people have been very resentment, having this anger towards Bongo family for all this long time, and they wish one day, not to have them as a leader. And according to what you said that when the coup happened on that night, it was all of a sudden like nobody knew. You just realized that okay, this is out of the picture, and we have seen the footage of people celebrating and everything. So that was the cry of the people from Gabon, that they just wanted to see that happen.
Yeah, they just wanted. I would say that they just wanted to say that. I would say that the first president, Omar Bongo, he was not that bad, like, because he had that ability, like, to manage people. Where people were complaining about the bad things in the country, like, he knew how to manage people and sometimes give money to answer the needs of the people. But his son, Ali Bongo, was, I would say, a little bit, worse than his father, because he did not have that relationship with the people. At least his father kept that relation with the people, and he was still trying to do small things, but his son was not, he did not listen to the people, and the situation just got worse. And the cry of people and the suffering of people just got higher and higher, and to just arrive to that day where they one more time cheating on the result. And that was just enough for everybody. I would say that if the army did not intervene in that situation, I would say that people will go out and try to fight against Bongo system. So that's what I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, here's the $1 million question. So the question is, a lot of Africans, I believe, were very excited to see actually Gabon move on from Bongo family and everything. Even myself, I was very excited because I know the history of Gabon, and I know a couple of my friends from there. But then everything changed all of a sudden. And this is my very first question that I'll ask you, that when people, they came to realize that, oh, actually the leader that is there right now is actually the cousin of Bongo family. So in a way, we still have Bongo family in the regime. And this guy is not as clean as, he's supposed to be, or as we thought. That would be the second question. But the first thing that I want to ask, not about the rest of Africans, I just want to ask in the perspective of Gabonese people. After you found out about you guys, I'm pretty sure you knew about this, but what is the reaction from the people? Because right now we know that Bongo has been released, and he's free to live the life as normal. There's not any consequences to his action and what he has done to the country, except I believe his son, he will pay the price. He will tell us today. So what is the feeling? What is the feeling about this new cousin of Bongo that is under the regime, do you think? Okay, what is the feeling? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I would say that people don't really care about the fact that he's a cousin of the previous president. They were like, yeah, okay, his cousin. Maybe before he was in the same system, but at least he got us right of Bongo family, or at least a part of the Bongo family. And now the most important for people is just that the name of Bongo is removed from the country for now. And this president came with really strong decision. You know, he came with that really great charisma as a military, as a soldier, and he started taking really strong decision, like arresting the son of the former president, like, and getting back a lot of money which were in our treasure. So because of that, I think people don't really care about the fact that he's a cousin of the former president, and himself say that to destroy a system, you have to be from the system, because you really know, you know it very well, so you'll be able to destroy it. So he came with that message, and people just agree on that, and they are really supportive toward him.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother Junior. So what you're trying to tell me is that people, they know that this might not be perfect, but since they've never experienced anything else apart from Bongo, then they're just happy that at least we have someone else who shows interest with the country and actually care and actually do something, you know, for the country. So people, they are satisfied with that. And do you really think that the son of Ali Bongo is going to be held accountable with everything, with the treason that he has been doing? Do you think they're going to hold him accountable because basically it's his cousin? Do you think that is going to be done, or do you think this is just politics, playing politics, that okay, you know, we're going to take care of this guy with everything that he has done, but behind the closed door, not really doing anything?
Yeah, I cannot say something, like I cannot be sure about anything. I cannot take a really strong position on anything, but for what we saw on the TV, we saw that he was arrested with a lot of money and that he's going to go to jail. That's what the president of transition said, that general said. But at the same time, we saw some other people who were really, they were arrested in a really bad way. Like you can see that they put in, they are really bad clothes, and they put them on the ground, and you can see that, oh, those people, they are really going to jail. But it's true that for the son of Ali Bongo, we are not sure. We are not sure, because that we also know that, as you say, that he is the cousin of the general, the current president of the transition. So we are not sure. I think, for me, to my opinion, I'm also a little bit suspicious, but I will give him the benefits of doubt. Like I will watch on him. For him, for now, I think people are observing him. Like, yeah, we saw that. We are still watching on you. We are still watching on you, and we are observing what you are doing. They are not sure. They are a little bit suspicious, as you're saying. But the message which is going on now on social media now is that, it's good what you're doing now, but we're still watching on you. Like,
yeah. And what is the reaction of Gabonese people after Ali Bongo being released freely and without being held accountable with everything that he has done, him and his family has done? I think the normal reaction, it would be to hold him accountable with all the treason and everything that he has done throughout his regime, him and his grandfather and his daddy. That would be the normal reaction. But if Ali Bongo had, let's say, a lot of supporters, because it seems like no Gabonese support him except his own family. Like no one is on his side, except his own family. That's why even the day when he was asking for help, he did not talk to Gabonese people. He was talking to the friends of Gabon. He did not address those because he knew, and he knows that, you know, Gabonese people, they don't love him. So what is the reaction from the people? Because now they say, okay, if he had supporters as a Gabonese, then it will make sense to let him go freely just to maintain the peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if we put him to prison, maybe some other group of people that are supporting him, they might arise and we might have a little bit of chaos in the country. But everybody feels like they want this guy to be punished. So what is the reaction of the people, especially releasing and let go of someone who has been responsible for so many problems in Gabon?
I think people were really disappointed about that situation, but the military tried to justify their decision by saying that it's because of his health status, like, because we know that since he got that heart attack, he got that disease, is not in a good health status now. So people know that it's not the true reason. There were maybe some arrangement between them in order to let him leave the country. And I just want to remind those who are listening us that the same things happen also in Burkina Faso. Like, and there are many African leader, African president who have just been released like this. It's like how to say it, something that they give in exchange of a little bit of freedom. Okay, so we are giving you a certain part of freedom, but you have to let that guy go, just go like this. And maybe the other reason our current president is doing that is like to try to kind of bring peace, to not make that, or maybe some people react about that. And you know, the president Ali Bongo, he had a lot of relationship with Western country. You see that when we heard just the news about the military coup, China reacted to say that they have to take care of the health of President Ali Bongo. So, and many other countries reacted in the same way, like to preserve his life, to preserve his integrity. So I think because of those pressure, the military just decided, oh, we are not going to go against them and just let him go and try to rebuild the country.
But also another reason I can add, his cousin. So that could be possibly, it could be the other reason that I gotta let my cousin go, right? Because himself, I mean, during what we found out is that the current president of Gabon, he also has, you know, mansion and houses, you know, in the United States, you know, in somewhere, which basically that money also, it came during the time of Ali Bongo regime. So it's clear for us to say that, or to conclude that obviously he had a part to play as well, because if you have a house, you own a house in the United States, that's not a small thing. You know,
definitely.
There's some sort of the ways. So I'm just saying that so that we may be and I love that you're very open-minded to that as well. You address it from the very beginning. You know, that's you know, that at least, you know, we just don't have this name that has been, you know, ruling us for a long time. And it kind of felt like Ali Bongo was also preparing his son to become, you know, the next president to him. But let me ask this. I know the wife of Ali Bongo, she's from the France, right?
And Morocco also.
In Morocco. All right, I'm not gonna get into that. Let me ask you another difficult question. So we all know when the coup, when the military regime will break out in Niger, because it started in Niger. Of course, it started in Mali, Burkina Faso, and then Niger, and then it came to Gabon. But when it happened in Niger, we saw a lot of noises, you know, by France, by United States, by NATO, talking against it. Until right now, there's still attention of them, right? And we saw Mali and, you know, Burkina Faso coming together, be like, you know what, we are with Niger. You guys, if you come after them, we're gonna come after you. But we
Yeah.
have not seen the same thing in the case of Gabon. In Gabon, we don't see France, like being against the new regime. We don't see United States saying anything about it, to be honestly, compared to what happened in Niger. We don't see
Yeah.
even NATO doing anything about it. So my question is this: what do you think that is the case? I have my own opinion, but I want to ask, why do you think there's not that noise? Because they're kind of people that they always talk about democracy, right? Ali Bongo
Yeah.
was elected democratically, and all of a sudden the military took over the regime illegally, according to them, right? But they're not doing the same thing that they did with Niger. Why do you think that is the case? And what do you think is going on?
Yeah, I think maybe France and America, I think maybe they're a little bit, I also think that they're a little bit involved in this military coup because, as you said, their reaction is not the same as for the military coup in Niger, in Burkina Faso, and in Mali. But at the same time, I would say that this military coup is a little bit also different than the one in Chad. You know, in Chad, President Macron went directly to Chad to congratulate the the son of the former president who made the military coup, right? So he went to France. So he was saying openly that he agree with that military coup. But for our military coup, I would say that it's kind of middle one, like between the one in Chad and the one in Mali or Burkina Faso. I would say that
Yeah.
I would not say that France is really happy with that military coup. I will not say that because this guy, this general is really doing a lot of change in my country. Like you can just see how people are really happy, and there is kind of wind moving people like to say that, oh, for now we have to work for the country. We have to change things, and many things are changing. And I think France is not really sure about his intention, but at the same time, of course, they know him. They know him for being the cousin of Ali Bongo. They know him for being in the previous system. And they know that it will not change too much things about the relationship between Gabon and France and Gabon and America. So because of that, they are a little bit, they are just observing how things will move, how the people will react, and also how this general will behave. They are a little bit in the middle. They are not against it, but at the same time, they are not also completely with this military coup. That's what I can say about it.
So do you think France and United States, they are actually involved in this military regime right now? Do you think they pull up some strength to make sure that this is happening right now?
I cannot say it for sure, but
Yeah.
since we are seeing their reaction, they are not reacting as you say, like for the situation in Niger and in Mali. I would say that they had maybe two plans, like maybe having some change with a normal election, or maybe and then using this military coup to change things. So I cannot say it for sure, but maybe I would say something like 50%.
Yeah. And do you think they do have leverage on him, on the current general?
What do you say? I did not hear properly.
I'm saying, do you think they have a leverage on him as well, the current general, the current president of Gabon?
What do you mean by leverage? I don't clearly understand.
What I mean is we've spoken about the houses that this guy owned in the United States. And we have spoken about the relationship that basically he has with France and these foreign powers, because he was actually next man to Ali Bongo, and that means in every single thing he was also involved. He knew A, B, C, D. He knew. I mean, there were things that he was not happy about, and eventually this happened. So, do you think that these Okay, maybe I can change another. I can change to another question. Do you think that it is possible that the current president of Gabon, he's not an extremist? What I mean is he's not all the way to the end against France and American intervention, and also he's not all the way to the end, but he's somewhere at the middle. That he can be a friend and enemy at the same time as well. So he's that's okay. Because in my mind, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is this is just my personal opinion. I'm thinking like there might be some sort of agreements. All right, this is just my thoughts. I'm not saying it's theirs. There might be some sort of agreements. You know, okay, if you take, you have to make sure A, B, C, D, because we don't see extreme side being like, okay, France, get out of our country, because you all know that's what Niger, that's the way Niger has taken Mali and Burkina Faso. You know, they say, okay, you guys have been colonizing us until today. Now we don't want anything to do with you. Get out of our country. We don't see that right now in Gabon. So that raised a question in me that if we don't see that, then we have not really dealt with the problem, because we might have like removed Ali Bongo out of the position, but we might replace with someone who it might not be as worse as Ali Bongo, but also not as dependent as we deserve to have, especially from what Gabon has been through for the past 50, 60 years. That's my opinion on this. That I don't see. I believe the desires of the people and the Africans, when I talk to them, they wish these guys to get out of our countries, that you guys have been dismantling us for a long time. Please get out. We want to handle things on ourselves. We want to deal with ourselves. But in the case of Gabon, it's somewhere at the middle, which we see in a lot of African countries, like my country, and a lot of African countries see the same thing. That's what we have in our countries. But when you want to pull out some strength and just to go all the way in and to be like, all right, Africa for Africans by Africans, you see the change. That's when United States. That's when your friends. So yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think there might be some influence about United States and France on this genre. There might be some influence, but I will add that the situation in Niger, in Burkina Faso, and in Mali is not the same situation than in our country. Like Mali and Burkina Faso, they were facing also problem about terrorism, and they were seeing the French militaries they were supposed to fight against terrorism, right? But they were not seeing any improvement about that. So that was also one of the reason of them protesting about France and saying that, oh no, enough is enough. I think you are not doing anything about terrorists. Maybe you are behind it, and because of that, we don't need you. We don't want to deal with you anymore. So you have to get out of our country. So I think the situation of my country is not the same situation. Like in Gabon, we have other problem, and the main problem in Gabon is about governance. Like the country is really rich, but the money have been used in really bad way just to satisfy some person in the country. Like, so the first thing in my opinion for Gabon is to solve that problem about governance, to start using the money we have now for our people, and then maybe later deal with the problem we have with France and United States. Because even the opponent of Ali Bongo, the one who actually won the presidential election, he said something that he said that, oh yeah, people are thinking about like getting rid of French military, saying that, oh, France has been dominating us, they need to get out of our country. But we are just a country of 2 million people, and we don't have a lot of military. We don't have the only, like, for now, the only cooperation we have with a country to protect ourselves is France, and also through France, United States. So I think for us, we are not ready we are not ready to get rid of this relationship. We need at first to solve the problem of governance in our country. And then after that, when our people mind will grow enough to realize that, oh, we can get more about it. Our country can be more prosperous. We can improve our economy by getting, for example, the money we are giving to France when they are making our money, which is franc CFA. So you know surely that France get half of our money for making our money. So those are really great issues that people have in mind, but they say that for now, that's not the problem. We need to build our country. We need to use properly the money we have. And then when our people mind will grow properly, when we will solve the basic problem like people getting water, people eating properly, and also getting the basic infrastructure in the country, then after solving this problem, we can attack the other problem about France and United States influence on our country. Yeah, that's what
that's the issue that I have with. That's the issue that I have with this, because I don't believe that our governments and our country can be prosperous with them inside our country. I don't believe that, because that's the same thing we have been trying to do for the past 60 years after our independence, right? Yeah. So just the fact that France are still there, America's influence is still there, I believe that it's gonna be impossible to make the lives of our people better, because you forget about the case of Gabon, but you can think about the case of other African countries. We've been having them in our countries, but nothing has been changed. The situation in our countries are worse, actually. I was reading a book. I'm reading a book these days called Africa, Magufuli and Change. And in one thing it says this, that actually Africa, when we were gaining our independence, we were actually better economically than a lot of countries like, East Asian country and other Asian countries like South Korea and others. We were really good economically. Our GDP and everything, we're better than them. But imagine that was when we were gaining independence, but 60 years plus later, Africa is going downward, downfall. And those countries, they went all the way to high. I mean, South Korea, where they are. You cannot compare with any country in Africa. Definitely. So you're asking yourself that, okay, we used to be there, but why are we going backward? Because you can talk about the concept of neocolonialism. What is there? Right? What has been there for all this time? And it hasn't been really making things better in Africa, but it has been making things worse in Africa. I don't care about the relationship, whether it's Americans, France, or Russians, or Chinese, whatever relationship it is, it's the same agenda, right? That they want to take everything away from Africa. So in the case of Gabon, and I know the mindset of the people, because if we have been through this kind of like bad regime for over, almost 50 years, actually, having the new regime right now is the breath, is the taking breath, taking a moment and relax a little bit, be like, oh, okay, now at least we can leave. So it's like, okay, we don't have option, but anything that is a little bit good than bongo, it's good. We're gonna embrace it, right? But I believe this is not the standard that we should settle in, because as long as France and the US still have influence in our countries, I don't believe that we are going to see the change, because we don't have any example of that. Like, I'm only saying that not because I'm trying to be skeptical, but because we don't have the tangible example that, okay, this what happened in this country and this what we don't have that. In all the cases, we just have chaos after chaos after chaos. So I am afraid that the liberation and that we want in our countries or in Gabon, I'm afraid that, yes, maybe we've made one step, to replace someone else with someone else, but we haven't really dealt with the issue. We're not really dealing with the problem, with the source of what is there, because nobody can disagree that the source of our issues in Africa is the system that were implemented by them 500 years ago, is still there because they're still here. So even when we change the leadership and we bring somebody who is good, who is charismatic, and who can do something better, but if we don't change the system, if we don't try to touch the system, then this leadership is just a matter of time to be corrupted, because the system is the same. So I can give you a break for 1 year or a few months to settle down, but the system is still the same system. Nothing has really changed. Like, it's just a matter of time for us to find out that, oh my goodness, this is still the same thing. Oh my God. All right. But I believe, yes, it's one step towards a change, but in another way, I don't think if we have made a real progress in this. I want to know what you think about that.
Yeah. For me, I think it can look like a really insignificant step, but for us as Gabonese people, we really consider it as a great step toward our freedom, our total freedom, I mean. So I was talking to you about the case of Burkina Faso. There was a military coup, a first military coup in Burkina Faso to get rid of Blaise Compaoré, the one who killed Thomas Sankara, or at least who organized, according to many historians, that the one who organized the killing of Thomas Sankara. So, there was a first military coup and a president came up. So, and we could see that president was still under the influence of France and United States, whatever. But after that, we can see that the people mind was still growing. And after that military coup, 2 other military coups happened. And you can see that Burkina Faso is now really moving to something, a true freedom, a kind of really true freedom. The people are experiencing there. They are moving, they are taking their destiny in hands, and they are moving forward. So I think that the situation in Gabon is a little bit similar. Like, we have this more step. Maybe that guy is still under France and United States influence, but at least we get rid of Bongo name, Bongo family, at least apart. And then I think that there are many activists in my country who are saying that this general, we know him for being in the previous system, and we are watching on him, and we will put a lot of pressure on him for him to stay on the right line. Like, the Gabonese people are no more sleeping. Like, people are awake. I'm telling you, bro. People are awake, and they are watching on him. And I think that time moving on, like, things will change step by step. At least we want him to make a good transition, to take care of the basic needs of our people, and then we'll see next what we can do. And maybe like Burkina Faso, definitely change the system by getting rid of France. Yeah, that's what I say.
All right. So what are the changes that he has already made in these couple of days that he came?
There are a lot, as you already said, there were a lot of arrestation, like people in the previous government. He has changed the government. He has designated a new prime minister, and now it took a lot of counselor from diverse part of the country, like people with really good moral. I'm telling you, like, even my pastor, the pastor of my church back in Gabon, he has been designated as the counselor about education. So we saw in that this guy is at least looking for good people. He wants to change things in the education sector and in other many sectors in the country, and things are really moving. The passion about being Gabonese, like, for us, for many Gabonese, bro, I'm telling you, we're almost ashamed to be Gabonese now. We could not say, oh yeah, before we were a little bit proud of being Gabonese, but the pride of being Gabonese is coming back again. And today our national team is going to play. Like, the president talked to them, like, you have to win. You have to win. And people even made a joke about it. If you don't win, you will go to jail, because this president is putting everyone in jails. So that there is this spirit about the love of the country, and people are, we can see that in every administration, people are willing to work hard to develop every field of the country. That is things we can see now in my country.
Yeah. And I'm definitely not going to take that away from you guys. You know, we as Africans, we're going to celebrate with you when you celebrate, and wish, you know, and pray and continue to hold accountable to see the change that our people deserve. But I wanna add something else. You know, before this point, you said something that where we are, you were talking about that in this transition and everything, Gabon can not still stand by themselves, right? And you said the right thing. You said the right thing. But I think who to stand with Gabon should not be France or US, but it should be the rest of African continent. And that's why you know that our mission here is fighting for one Africa, because we do believe that for us, in order to get rid with these superpowers, these guys who are, I can't call them superpowers, to get rid of these thieves in Africa, and exploiters in Africa, I think Africa has to come together. In the case of Gabon, yes, it's just 2 million people, but Gabon is Africa. In Africa, we have more than 1.3. Right now, it's actually 1.6 billion people in Africa. So if you have that, then there's a huge potential for Gabon to survive if our main focus is not going to be outsiders. I'll say the same thing about Mali or Burkina Faso, that if their focus is not going to be about Russia and China, but Africa, because that is the journey that Africa we must navigate. Like, we should not. I see the wave of this excitement about, you know, us collaborating with China, us, you know, being with Russia. Or right now, you know, we have African Union in G20. You know, I see all this, you know, hyper, and this, we're actually broadcasting live right now in our channel. But I see this, you know, excitement. But, you know, excitement is not always good, because the excitement that we're supposed to have is for us as Africans collaborating with one another, us as Africans coming together as one another.
That's true.
Like, okay, Gabon, you're going through this transition. Okay, we are Africans. We're there to support. We make sure that you're stable. We make sure that you get rid of all these thieves that have been there stealing for a long time. We're here with you, right? We have seen what is happening in Niger, and we've seen how these other countries came together and be like, we're with you. But the only sad thing that I have with that region is about the you know, it's about the Russians. It's about, you know, the Chinese, you know, in that region, and in so many parts of Africa, that's not the time for this, but it's the time for Africa to come together as one. It's the time for Africa to be like, okay, if you guys cannot do it, we're here with you, we're standing with you. And I think that is the same thing that I will ask right now in the entire continent of Africa. But the sad thing is that then when you have, you know, the body like African Union, they actually condemn, you know, the military taking, you know, regime in Gabon. And I saw Pierre Lumumba actually warning them and be like, okay, you guys, before you make any statement of warning, make sure that you make statement about the, you know, corruption, about the illegal leadership that is happening in Africa. Make comment about that, and then make comment about this, but not just on one side, right? Which it makes a perfect sense, right? Because we know what was going on in Gabon. So I don't know. What do you say about that? About the unity of Africa, and about that instead of looking to the West and East, we have to look from the inside and try to bring our people together. And I think I'll be really happy if I see the new leadership in Gabon, you know, emphasize on the unity of Africa. I haven't heard that yet, but I'm not surprised if I'm not going to hear that. Honestly, I'm not going to surprise because of what we have been talking here about the France and Americans. I'm not going to be surprised, but you know, what would you say? Because I think if we have leaders like that, you've mentioned Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. We've seen how, you know, passionate he is about, you know, the unity of Africa, you know, and in other countries as well. I'm not sure about Gabon, and what would you say about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same as you. Like, I think that as African, we need to be united first between us, and then maybe try to cooperate after with other nations. And I think we're already seeing it a little bit with Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, because we heard that Mali and Burkina Faso say that if any country in Africa try to attack Niger, they will declare war to those two countries. So that's already a sign of unity in Africa. But I think in order for us to be united, we need to be free. And I think those countries are really moving to their freedom, and that's why they can be united. But if you look at country around Gabon, like for us, we got that military coup. We are getting excited a little bit about that freedom. We are rebuilding a little bit our institution and our constitution. So, but the country around, you look at Equatorial Guinea, you look at Cameroon, you look at Congo, they're still under like the influence. I will not say that we already get rid of influence of France, but at least we got that step. And for us also to be united with the other country, those people also need to get that step to their freedom. And I think it's really coming, because I don't know if you heard that, but the president of Cameroon, the same day when the military coup happened in Gabon, he changed the Ministry of Defense in Cameroon. Like, because he was really afraid. And the same thing happened in Rwanda. Like, he get rid of many generals because they are afraid. That I think they are feeling it. They're feeling there's something happening. That's why I'm also enthusiastic about what is happening in my country. We did not make it totally, but at least we made a step. And those presidents, they are feeling it. They're feeling there's something happening. The Africans are waking up. They're waking up to take their country. And for me, I truly believe, believe deeply in my heart that maybe soon we'll heard in country around Gabon, and to also get that freedom, and that will allow us to be united. In order for us to be united, we need first to be free. So
well, let me ask everybody before we finish this session that if you guys are joining right now, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to join Patreon or membership to support the work we're doing in here. And also don't forget to sign the petition. We have a petition that is going on about One Africa right now. Please go ahead and sign this petition. The link is in the comment section. I just dropped right there. We need 100 million signatures of all Africans across the world to get this petition to our Africa heads of states, the African Union, and Pan-African Parliament. There's a lot of things that we mention in this petition down here. What do we want? For example, one, an independent organization, African Union, not to receive donations and aids from foreign powers and all the stuff. We want African states to actually give money to African Union and Africans to actually fund our own organization. Even if we say like every single month, every single Africa give $1, to this body in order to work for us. It's something that it's possible, and we can run organization by ourselves. The problem is not really, sometimes the problem is not even leadership. The problem is the system. Unless we change the system, then we cannot really see the change. You can change as many as president you can change many leaders as you can, but if it's still the same system, we are not going anywhere. The system that is here, it has been here for more than over 500 years, since 1471, even before that. So it's been here more than 150 years, for so long. For us to change that system, then we really need to shuffle Africa all the way from the inside. So there's a lot of suggestions in this your petition. Before you sign, make sure you read it, you understand, because all of us, we actually touched in this petition, and sign it. And most importantly, share every single day. Share with somebody. We can actually double this number within a day. If we share, if we sign, we share in our groups, we share everywhere. We have an English version, and also we have a French version. I'll send to you, my brother, as well, Isaac. You can share with your friends and everywhere all of this vision. We need to have one Africa in our generation, and I don't see another way than us taking an action to sign something like that. So the link is in the comment section right here. Sign and share, sign and share, sign and share. Please go ahead and sign. It's very important. It's very important to get the Africa we want. So, lastly, if you guys have any question, you can drop right now. I'm going to ask you a final question, and then we'll be ending this session, because in 30 minutes from now as well, guys, don't go nowhere. Stay right there. All right. In 30 minutes, we'll be having another conversation about Sudan. We know on Tuesday, a lot of civilians have been killed, and, there's been a war happening in Sudan for a while. I have somebody from Sudan here already ready for that conversation. And the video, it's already on our YouTube channel, Breaking on Sudan. Let me share with you guys the link. You can actually, like that stream and get ready for this conversation about Sudan. It's very, very, very important. Soon after this, we're just gonna continue with that. So we're gonna be having a pretty good day today. Talk about the content we love. That's the link about Sudan, so you can like and turn on notification button. All right, everybody, please like this stream. Like. Help us to reach to as many people as we can, and don't forget to sign this petition. The links are in the comment section. My brother, let me come back to you. So this is the very first conversation I'm having with you, but I'm going to be having you here pretty much maybe even every single week. I don't know how your time is, because we need to going with this. Right. Yeah. I want you to address to the rest of Africans, because we have a lot of people watching right now, and some people will be watching later, some people in the continent, some people outside of the continent. What is your message as a Gabonese? What is the message to the rest of Africa about what is happening in Gabon, and what would you like to address? Your final thoughts.
I would say that these days I think we are a chosen generation. Like, we are a chosen generation by God to see a great move in Africa, a great change in Africa. And we need to realize that. And the events happening in Burkina Faso and in Mali, in Niger, and now in Gabon, they are not just events like this. I think something is really happening in Africa, and as young Africa, we have to realize that we have a really great part to play in that. And the part we have to do is to try in every field we have to do our best. We have to be the best. We have to work hard in order to get as much as knowledge and as much as competencies we can get in order to help our country. And I will also ask to my fellow African brother that if you are living abroad now, don't stay abroad, please. Don't stay abroad. Think about Africa. Think about, like, maybe take some time to save some money and then go back to build the continent, because the future is in Africa. That's what I can say.
Oh, yeah. Let me add a little bit that the future and the present is in Africa. Right now. It's Africa's time. Africa's time. So when are you going back?
I'm not sure yet. I renew my contract for 1 year now in South Korea. So I'm here in South Korea for at least 1 more year until September 2024. So after that, I will see where God is leading me.
Absolutely. I think 1 year, it's enough time to see what the direction of the country, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be having these updates. As I said, I would love to have these updates almost every single week, because there's a lot of going on in Africa, and to just see what's really happening there, and what are your thoughts as the people. My brother Isaac, I appreciate, man, to be reconnected with you. Nothing happened by coincidence. When I met you in South Korea 5-6 years ago, it was not by coincidence. We never knew that we're gonna be here today. Later you're married, you have a son, and having this conversation about your country, we had no idea. But I believe that God brought us there for a reason, and we met for a reason, for such a time out like this, because I didn't have this conversation with anybody else but you, right? And you're willing to have this conversation. So I love you, my brother. My greetings to your lovely wife and son. I hope your son's, what is your son's name? Is it Mika?
No, it's not Mika. It's Joshua. It's a combination of Joseph and Israel. Because
that's amazing. That's amazing name, man. I really appreciate. My regards to them, and Yeah, and thank you so much for stopping by. And I can't wait to have another conversation soon.
Yeah, my pleasure, bro. Thank you for having me. I love you back, and see you next time.
Yes, appreciate my brother. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
All right. All right, guys, that was my brother Isaac, my brother all the way from Gabon. And this was such a very productive session, actually. You guys, you can let us know in the comment section what do you think about the conversation we just had. If you really, if your expectation about this conversation actually cover, because the biggest question that I had in this conversation, the first one, it is to ask about, the relationship between Bongo with the current president, because he is the cousin, and the feeling from Gabonese people. How do they feel about this? What do they say about this? And he answered. As well, the second question that I had for him, it is about the interference. Why a lot of countries like France and Americans, I mean USA, they don't really oppose what is happening there. Why there's not that tension that is in Niger? Why it's the same, pretty much the same scenario that is happening? Why is that? And do we have another puppet military leadership in Africa, or do we really have authentic, honest leadership in Gabon? What is going to be the future of Gabon? Should we celebrate, or should we just stay and, wait for a while to see how things are going on, right? What really went behind the scene, the release of Ali Bongo to go free, and, the capture of the son of Ali Bongo. Is it really what happening in behind the scene, or is it just politics for us to see that, okay, there's some sort of accountability, but not really, nothing happened? And he expressed himself. He shared here openly what Gabonese people feel about it. And eventually we came to talk about the importance of Africa's unity, especially in things like this. Instead of us relying on foreign intervention, to relying on France, relying on the US, relying on European Union, Russia, China, we should look from the inside and try to gather ourselves as much as we can to protect ourselves, and not really looking somewhere else. That's how we ended our conversation today. So if you join right now and you didn't get a chance to see from the very beginning, you can actually just track back, go and see and watch and listen, and comment your opinion. We always go through the comments to actually see your suggestions and what you say, so that we can be better in what we do. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like this stream. Don't forget to share this stream. Don't forget to sign and share this petition. It's very important. I'm going to leave for now, but we are live. We are actually live with G20. African Union is in G20. We're going to have a conversation about it. African Union in G20, is it good or bad? We're going to address about that in anytime. We'll be addressing that. But in 30 minutes from now, actually 27 minutes from now, I'll be back for another live stream about Sudan. All right. We know that there's a war has been going on in Sudan, and we'll be back here to talk about Sudan. So let me share the link with you guys. Actually, in 20 minutes, we'll be back here. I have somebody from Sudan, and he'll be here with us to share with us what is going on, breaking in Sudan, and to share all those details. This is the link in the comment section. Please go in that link, please like, turn on notification button, and don't be late. It's going to be a quick conversation, because after that, I might have another conversation about Mali. There's updates on Mali and the killings that has happened there with someone from Mali. So don't be late. It's going to be just quick conversation with my brother from Sudan, and hopefully we can have another conversation about Mali. Guys, I love you. Thank you for the support. For those members, we appreciate you. For those who would like to join, please do so. For those who would like to support us as well, you can hit the Patreon link in the description of this video. You'll be able to see it and to support. As a matter of fact, let me share with you guys here in the comment section, so that you don't have to go anywhere. That's the Patreon link. If you want to join and to support, you can hit that link and you'll find us. And let me share as well the membership link, just in case if you want to become a member of this family and support us, with what we're doing. Your support is needed and required as well. The link to join the membership as well is this one right there. You can join membership as well. That would be amazing. And also, let's say if you don't use all of that, you want nothing of that, you just want like one-time support. Right now, I'll share with you the PayPal link as well. for you guys to actually, do anything, through that PayPal link. So let me drop down the comment section as well, make it easier for you guys to touch that, to support that. Ain't gonna be here and pretend like we got everything figured out. Yes. Yeah. We need that one Africa in our generation, and we need you guys to be involved as well. That's how we can see this change that we wanna bring. All right, PayPal link is there in the comment section. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much, and see you in, right now it's 10, in 20 minutes, in 15 minutes, pretty much. All right, see you in 15 minutes for Sudan Talk.